Bienvenidos, damas y caballeros. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in. Here's your hosts today. I'm Johnny.
And I'm Tom.
And I'm Tadeo.
We're three American expats coming to you from the beautiful, gorgeous capital city of Buenos Aires, Argentina. This is the podcast about everything but nothing with some expat life news and comedy thrown in. This is the
Velvet Hammer. Hey, we got some good stuff this week.
All right.
Okay. What's up now?
God, the United States is in turmoil. These poor students. Good golly.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh. We haven't used this one in a while. The Imperial Cord.
Yeah.
I'm on an Imperial Red. You have what, an X?
Extra lager, it says.
Okay. Huh. Intense flavor. Oh, is this a sabor equilibrado? Equal. What's that? Equal flavor?
Yeah, like a balanced flavor.
Balanced flavor. That's it.
Okay, mine says sabor intenso.
Ooh, intense flavor.
Intenso. What does that?
Right.
Hey, folks, Spanish isn't that hard.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's similar to.
And then aroma a maltus.
Ooh, so you have a multi-aroma.
Adoma. No, it's aroma.
Aroma,
Whatever. It's an
yeah.
extra lager. It's
Ours is
good.
aroma caramelo.
Caramelo.
Caramel aroma.
Yes, that's the bed.
I'm smelling it and it doesn't smell like
It
caramel.
smells like beer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
That's what she said last night. I'm sorry. That joke is so old.
That's what she said, yeah. It smells like beer. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right. Well, so what else is new?
That's what she said.
All right. Oh, well, actually, speaking of yesterday was Argentine Labor Day. So Labor Day for the South.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Dia de la Trabajador.
yeah, Dia del Trabajador. So we can't wear white anymore.
Right. Well,
Supposedly.
it's basically the end of summer, and we are at the end of summer because, folks, it's getting a little chilly down here,
Yeah.
and so that's why Labor Day is in May, and then in the States it's in September because it's also the end of summer.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Labor Day.
Now it's real. It's real. It's real. Summer is gone. It's gone.
Yeah, no more shorts, no more tank tops. It's cold.
Oh, so
Oh,
sad.
no, I packed my shorts away, and my tank tops can't do it anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, it's.
But, what is about 4 months of this.
Yeah,
And
4
by
months.
the time September gets here, it's warm, kind of starting warming up again.
Ish.
Yeah, September, October,
Yeah.
it'll start getting warm.
Yeah. Oh God, it's so long. It
Long
doesn't
time.
seem like such a long time though.
But it was a really good summer.
Yeah.
I really had a lot of fun.
Yeah, except for those mosquitoes.
Those damn mosquitoes,
Yeah,
they were a bitch.
Ruined. I kind of feel like I got gypped this summer, just because of all the mosquitoes. I couldn't do a lot of the outdoor stuff that I usually do, like hanging out at parks late into the evening, drinking with friends.
Yeah. Kind of sounded weird.
Hanging out at parks.
Don't tell me the mosquitoes stopped you from doing that.
They did. Somehow. 'Cause
I
had
don't think
shorts.
so. No.
I usually would hang out.
I mean, a couple summers ago, or maybe it was the summer before, whatever, they had the World Cup. So we would go to the park and they had these huge screens and we would watch, Denmark play Ireland or whatever.
Yeah.
And everyone would come in their shirts. Mexico played Australia
So,
or XYZ. So we'd go to the park and just be there meeting people, meet our friends, drink beer.
Drink beers.
Yeah. I was in Italy at that time, and England played the United States, and so we had a lot of Brits in my little town, and a few Americans. I think we had like 3 Americans and 5 Brits and 1 Pole. And we all got together in the bar. A Polish person.
Yeah.
It's the way what you say. Now, no offense if you listen to this, Monica.
Pole.
Yeah, so it was a fun time.
It was rowdy.
Yeah.
But at least the mosquitoes weren't out as bad as they were this year because we were able to stay. We watched the late games.
Later
games.
Yeah.
And we were just sitting outside. No, the mosquitoes weren't a big bother. But this year, you couldn't. You just couldn't.
Mosquitoes, like even during the day when it's hot, normally they only come out in the afternoon or the early morning. It's just all the time mosquitoes. It was terrible.
This
Terrible.
It's That I feel like, my summer got ripped off.
I still have one in my apartment, and I go to sleep, and I wake up about 3:30 in the morning with an itch on my leg. He only eats once a day. He was there for about 5 days. Every night I'd wake up and like, I got a mosquito bite. I finally found him. Took a pillow off the sofa, did a quick jump up and smashed that mother.
Yep. He's like, God damn it!
You keep saying he. Technically, the ones that bite are females.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I mean, like the nerd in the corner. Unless they bite are female.
Well, I have a friend in Italy, and she told me we have a lot of mosquitoes in Italy too. They're little tiny ones that come from Africa. We've talked about this. They call them the zanzari. You can't ever even see them, but when they bite you, the bite stays on me for about 2 weeks. So anyhow, my friend says that she has them in her house, and that her ass is covered with mosquito bites.
Oh no!
And I thought, well, that's a nice visual. I mean, you got.
How is your ass getting bit?
Think about it, folks. How and
you sit down and take a shit and you get bit.
If you get it, you get it. If you don't, that's fine. But it's also, she said her walls are covered with her own blood.
Oh God!
I can't believe we had another mosquito conversation.
Yeah. They were that bad this year. It's
terrible.
And they're still here. It's like it gets 6. I think last night was 6 degrees. This is Celsius, people. It was so cold, and somehow these things are still alive. I don't get it. They should be dead.
Oh, should be moving up north, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's global warming.
All right.
What's it? Climate
there
change.
We got
Global warming.
Global warming. The mono ambiente.
Oh, God.
No, not mono ambiente. That's the wrong word.
No, oh God, what is the word for the environment?
Something like that.
Something ambiente.
Speaking of the environment, something ambiente.
Medio ambiente.
Medio ambiente.
That's the word in Spanish, y'all.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, we have some environmentalists who are angry in Britain.
The environmentalists.
Heineken at Heineken. Yeah. Heineken.
They're always angry.
There's always something wrong.
What are they doing?
So Heineken, there's an apple surplus. They wanted to sell this land that has a bunch of apple trees on it.
Oh, apple trees.
Apples, so one of the subsidiaries of Heineken is this cider company. And there's been a surplus of apples, so we're gonna cut down all these apple trees and sell the land. So they cut down 300 acres of apple trees.
Oh my God, that's a lot.
To sell and so it's kind of sad because it's like we should save the trees, drink more cider, people.
Right.
Drink more cider, save the trees.
William Henry Harrison, the president that lived for a month after he got elected, his favorite drink was apple brandy, and there's a eggnog named after him. The General Harrison's eggnog. And it's apple cider, it's apple brandy, eggs, and cream. And no, not cream. It uses the fizz of the soda water. You gotta shake it up, but in a special shaker so that the fizz can go out. You shake it up with the eggs and it emulsifies. And
it's like mint, like a gin fizz. Isn't that a drink too?
Why couldn't, instead of cutting down the trees, Heineken could have just promoted that drink?
Yeah.
And sold that.
Yeah.
Should have drank more.
Yeah. I mean,
drink more cider.
I like a good cider.
We don't really have cider out here.
Not much corporate logic there, but that's okay. So
they cut down the trees.
Were they surrounded by environmentalists that were, yelling and screaming, throwing their fists in the air while they're cutting down trees?
Right.
Yeah. They said they acted according within the law. So the bird watchers were the ones who were really angry because this is apple trees are for a bunch of finches or something. And
oh God!
So now the finches will have no place to winter. I don't know. It's just sad because I want the cider.
I wonder how many of the protesters had ciders in their hands,
protesting with the cider. Yeah.
You're cutting down the cider trees.
It probably sounded just like that.
Yeah.
I gotta get my cider.
Where's my cider?
It was 140 football fields worth of land that had trees. That's a lot of trees.
Yeah, that is a lot of trees. Oh,
but
that's kind of sad.
Yeah, there's an apple surplus. So if you don't need apples, use the land.
They went Amazon on it.
Oh, yeah, right. They cut down that rainforest.
We gonna go Amazon on your ass.
Damn, they treated that shit like a rainforest and cut it all down. Like, fuck this. Cut them all down.
It's like going Tesla on them, going Elon Musk.
Oh, no.
He has been on a firing spree. He's like, cut it all down, burn it. Everyone's fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
No, it was basically his supercharger staff that he fired.
The entire staff.
Yeah, and it's like, well, you're selling these cars, and this is the people that are inventing new ways to charge your car out in the middle, out in bumfuck, East Jesus. You got to charge up your car, right? You ever been to East Jesus?
No. Is that real?
Good.
Exactly.
No,
where the F is East Jesus?
No, that's. I don't think it's a real town, but I'll tell you, a real town.
Sounded like it could be.
A real town in Oklahoma is Slap Out.
What?
Slap Out, Oklahoma. Okay, and it's because back in the late 1880s when all those towns were founded, every time there was a little general store there, and everybody came by and said, "Oh, you got any sugar?" "No, we're slap out of sugar." And "Oh, you got any flour?" "Oh, we're slap out of. And so they named the town Slap Out.
I thought it's because the saloon was so popular, everyone was slapping each other.
Oh, and listen, I grew up in a place. Okay, I grew up in a place called Liberal. Okay, it's in Kansas, about 3 miles from Oklahoma. Now you could go 20 miles south of Liberal, and you could get to Hooker, Oklahoma. You could go another 20 miles, and you'd get to Beaver, Oklahoma.
What in the world?
This is true. You get Google Map it. It's there.
Liberal, Hooker, and Beaver.
Liberal, Hooker, and then Beaver.
That's a very slutty beaver. A liberal hooker beaver.
Hooker beaver.
Man, that beaver gets around.
I just watched an episode of 2.5 Men last night, and two guys were going out with Charlie Sheen, and they said, "Oh, we're gonna get some hookers tonight, and I'll just eat that right up." He said, "Wait, let me explain to you something about hookers."
Oh, no. You don't eat the hookers.
You don't.
No.
Where did you come from? Oh, God. Wow.
Oh, well, anyhow, what were we talking about?
Supercharger. Yeah, supercharger. Right.
Supercharger.
Yeah, so how do they get a supercharger into
the beaver?
Into beaver, yeah.
Beaver hooker needs a supercharger.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Oh, that hooker needs a supercharger.
Hey. We're supercharged. Hooker is supercharged now. This hooker is supercharged. I think maybe another one, maybe one in Minnesota, or Nevada. I don't know. So,
Jesus. Oh,
no.
Oh my God.
So what are those guys gonna do now that they lost their job at Tesla?
What did they do to fuck up that bad? Like, wow, they must have seriously made a flub. Because he fired the whole team. It's like, none of you are good. All of you are useless. You all get out of here. Not a single one. This is Sodom and Gomorrah. Fucking Lot couldn't find a single good person in that city. So he's like, fucking hail and brimstone it all.
They probably had a departmental retreat to Tahoe, and it's like, oh God, and it hit the internet, a lot of YouTube videos out there. No. So he goes like, we can't have this.
Right. Oh God.
Elon said, oh, I can't put up with this.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, these aren't like dumb people. These are probably pretty bright engineers. And he's like, not a single one.
Wow.
All out.
Jesus. I mean, wow. I don't, even as we travel the country in that RV, we've talked about this before. I don't remember seeing many charger stations.
Oh yeah, no.
I don't remember seeing many at all.
Who knows?
I mean, this was 6 years ago. Now I don't. Electric cars. True. That's
I mean, he's supposed to have his electric truck too. He's got the full big rig,
electric big truck or whatever.
Right. Biden said he drove one of those. Well, that's last week, folks.
Right.
Okay. Sorry.
I don't even know.
Oh yeah.
If Biden says it.
Back when I drove an 19-wheeler.
Let me count those wheels again. God, no, he had a Class C license. Okay.
When you guys are traveling all over the country, in a RV, having time making videos, did you ever see a tornado?
No, actually, no.
We didn't. No,
I don't know when we were traveling in January through that area.
It was
January. I don't know when
there was a huge storm.
Oh, that big sleet storm that came down through the middle. Yeah,
that was terrifying.
Cold.
Yeah, but other than that, no.
They're getting hit in the Midwest now with tornadoes.
That's right.
God, you can find videos all over the YouTube about these things. They're crazy.
So scary. Ooh.
They just pop up.
Golly. And I mean, in Korea soju, they do this thing where you spin the bottle around and it makes a little tornado. Like, just that is shocking. Like, but there's that pressure. Like, it's amazing to think that is coming out of the sky. This immense pressure, this immense force.
Yeah, the wind is like 640 miles an hour inside, just going around in a little circle. It tears stuff up. There was, I grew up in Kansas, so I have a lot of tornado stories there, but my best story comes from Virginia, just north of Richmond. There was a huge tornado came by, and apparently it hovered about 5 feet off the ground, and so you're driving down the road after the tornado, and trees are broken in half.
Oh my God.
I mean, there are these 5-foot stumps that come out, and they're just like somebody just snapped a toothpick.
Oh my God.
For a long time, and if you see overhead views of these things, it's just a path.
Yeah.
Everything's just knocked down.
I've seen those. Yeah. Ooh. Good God.
I wonder if I don't know if they have tornadoes out here in Argentina.
Yeah.
But a couple months ago, there was this huge storm that left so many trees broken and torn up, and I walked through the park the other day, and it was every single tree had branches off or was torn out of the ground, was split in half. It was
true.
There was a tree fell down a couple streets and it blocked the whole street off. A whole tree just fell over. It was blown over in the streets. I don't know if it was a tornado here, but it was pretty heavy winds.
They called it a tornado, but it was just a storm.
Out here in the city,
storm. It
very
was
strong.
really windy. Oh yeah, I remember that.
I have like pictures of these trees falling over in the streets.
Yeah, it's like windshields busted up from trees.
Oh yeah, still
breaking, like landed on cars and broke out their windshields and dented them up. Oh, there's an old car next to our house. Where one of the trees fell over it. It smushed it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still just sitting there.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess they
can't afford to get away with it. I'm like,
oh, you take it. I don't.
This car's done. Yeah. But tornadoes, I don't think they have them here. I don't know.
Well, when I was a kid growing up, I remember one time I was like, 8 or 9 years old. My mother woke me up, my mother and father, and said, we have to go across the street to the basement in the neighbor's house because there's tornadoes here. Ooh. So it turns out, police were driving through the street at 2 o'clock in the morning saying, take cover, take cover. There were 7 tornadoes around my little town,
oh my
Liberal,
gosh.
And it didn't do any property damage, but we had a lake, and Kansas gets about 17 inches of rain a year. It's a semi-arid desert. And so it took forever to fill this little lake full of water. And I mean, it's like maybe less than 100 yards across, and it sucked all the water out of the lake. It was a dry pit, and we never could fill it up again. But later, about 25 miles away, it rained frogs. Because it took all the water up with all the frogs that were in there, and then all of a sudden there's just these frogs. I mean, it was biblical.
That's it. I was thinking that's like from the parable.
I mean, there weren't any cell phones back then. Nobody could take, videos of it or anything. I don't think there was video back then. When I was 8 years old, there was no video.
Oh, God.
Had that thing. What was that thing that Thomas Edison invented? That made movies out of a bunch of cards,
pictures.
Oh yeah.
Cryptograph or something like that. Pictograph.
Something like that.
No, we didn't have those.
Wow.
It's pre-Thomas Edison.
Jeez.
Hey.
Getting back into Biden's time. Way back in the day.
Oh, no.
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
God, imagine being a frog. You're like, you're just flying with Scott.
What an experience. Those frogs got the ride of their lives.
Well, you remember Wizard of Oz? Dorothy her whole house got caught up in a tornado.
Right.
It's possible. Yeah. Went to Oz.
I don't know. Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Got a nice pair of shoes. I think they had a Zara there.
Yeah, those rubies.
Those things.
Oh, I want those.
Where'd you get that? Oh, Zara.
Zara Oz.
Yeah, Zaz.
How much of those shoes sold recently for like
Scarpe,
$1 million?
Scarpe.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
ruby slippers?
Yeah, those ruby slippers. I think they're actually made with real rubies.
No.
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But they sold for a lot of money. They're so
wow.
expensive because they're the ones that whatever that woman was. What was her name? Dorothy. Joan
Garland.
Jody Garland.
Judy
Yeah, there
Garland.
it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good movie.
That was like one of the first color movies, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I went from black and white to color. I knew
1939.
that.
And when she steps, everything is black and white until she steps out the front door into Oz, and it flashes into color. Okay, I had some friends that actually had a color TV when I was young, and we'd go and they'd say, and something would happen, and that's when it's supposed to go to color, and they'd go over and adjust something, and the color was there because the televisions didn't quite. They were round television screens. That's how color really started out.
Gee, that's amazing. Like to think that we used to not have all the stuff that we have now.
Oh Lord, now it's
It's
so
like
much.
it's so
amazing.
wild.
Yeah.
I can't imagine watching something without color. It's just what? No,
Look
no.
at those black and whites.
Wow. Although there is a good TV show out right now, series, that's all shot in black and white. It's really good.
Yeah, they're going back
the,
to that.
The black and white, the shooting and the coloring that they did, amazing. It's and it's all shot in Italy. So yeah, it's all like they speak Italian and there's Italian and English. It's really good. It's called Ripley.
Ripley.
Yeah, check it out if you get a chance.
I think I've seen that advertised when I'm scrolling through.
Yeah, it's like Catch Me If You Can meets like a thriller, like a psycho thriller. It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the way it was.
Yeah.
Thinking of the music. You know, like Pink. Have you heard the thing of The Wizard of Oz and Pink Floyd? One of their albums. If you play the album,
Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you can start it, and I think you start the album right where she steps out of the house.
That's it. I think.
into Oz, and the music just kind of goes right with the movie.
What?
Yeah, the whole album goes with the rest of the movie.
What?
Weird. I've not watched. I should maybe listen.
Yeah,
to watch.
I've never done that, but.
People are rave on this.
That would be.
But you know, if you get stoned enough, you can watch television and listen to anything you want. You know,
Right.
Mott the Hoople. You know,
Right.
you can listen to.
Right.
I mean, Dark Side of the Moon is real good to get high to.
Oh yeah, it was one of the first. It was one of the best
Pink Floyd.
recordings, best produced albums of the time. And when it came out on CD, it just skyrocketed. You know, because CD really propelled the sound quality of the recording industry,
right.
going digital.
Huh.
Yeah, they're good.
Floyd.
I don't think I've ever actually listened to that album.
You never heard like Money?
No.
Ching.
I probably heard like I
Was
probably
Money
heard
on that
I
one?
think Money's on that, is it?
I thought that was the next one. Wish You Were Here.
Oh Lord.
I know it's
We gotta listen to some
it
Pink
could
Floyd.
be, it could be, but the one Time
Time
is on there, and that's and then.
I mean, I know songs from it, but I've never listened to the album all the way through. Never.
I mean, those are rare these days to actually get a good album from an artist. Maybe the Gorillaz, I could listen to a whole album
Gorillaz are
straight
good.
through. But most music, I don't want to sound like an old person, like, oh, your music is shit. But music is kind of getting shitty these days.
Well, that's what I didn't like about programmable CD players when they first came out, is that you could actually take somebody's art and the whole album, 45 minutes is all you can get on an LP. No more than that, 22 minutes aside. And you had to listen to it from beginning, halfway through, and flip it over, and then listen to it from halfway through to the end. And it was always a piece of art, and you were supposed to listen to it like this because they put it together in this special way, all the songs segged into the other songs, whatever.
Okay.
And then when CDs came out, you could program it to play your favorite songs, and you really don't
Skip
get
to
it.
track 3, yeah.
And when they went to CDs, also, you put a lot of artists out of work. A lot of graphic artists, a lot of painters. I mean, talking about this because they didn't have the album cover, which was a 12 by 12 inch cardboard sleeve to actually put their art on and to sell their art. And that was a bad side product of CDs to me.
Yeah. I mean, now it's all digital.
Well, now it's coming back now. A lot of people like to go digging through like
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
vinyls, and it's really nice because the art on them is like amazing. You look at the cover and that gives you like an idea of what the music's gonna be.
Yeah.
The art has so much to do with the digging.
Yeah, music and art are two arts that are very, very close together. You know, you're creating something from nothing. You know, and
But is it true that like music sounds like what do they say? It sounds warmer on vinyl.
Yes.
Does the best sound on vinyl?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because you in digital, actually in analog too. The thing about digital, it goes from what is it, like 15 hertz all the way up to 22 kilohertz in the sounding.
Yeah.
When people talk, our speech is right around 5 to 6 kilohertz. But it goes up, the ear can only hear up to about 15 kilohertz. But the fact that it actually records up to 22 kilohertz, the deal is you got the big long bass waves. If you got a 17 hertz bass wave, it's actually 17 feet long. You see these things on oscilloscopes where it goes up and down?
Yes.
Okay, for that sound to actually travel all the way up and all the way down takes 17 feet.
Whoa.
It's easy to remember, 17 hertz, 17 feet.
Whoa,
But
that's wild.
what it is, that's the base of that sound. And then you have all of the sounds on top, the kilohertz on above, they ride on top of that bass. And they help to define the bass. So the higher frequency response you have, like on CDs up to 22K, the better the bass sounds. Because it cuts it down and it hones it down and it defines the bass. So that was a good thing about CDs. But it still has a little harsher sound to it because of that.
Wow, I never knew that.
So the highs don't have anything to do. You can't hear them over 15K. Nobody can hear over 15. It goes to 22, but those 22 help the bass.
Whoa, that's interesting. I did not know that.
The more you know.
Yeah, and 17 feet. That's amazing. I guess
Yeah.
The sound does travel.
And so if you're at a club and we had some speakers that I sold when I was in the music instrument industry. We had a 24-inch speaker, and it would go to 17K. And you could stand in front of it and you can feel it. It's vibrating your clothes and everything, but you really can't hear it unless you're 17 feet away from it, because you have to get the whole cycle. The sine wave is what it's called.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's a new
Sine,
rule.
cosine, look at
When I go
that.
to a club, I'm standing 17 feet away.
Well,
At least, yeah.
you'll probably be able to notice it, maybe not. You know.
'Cause I have gone before and stood in front of the thing, and I just feel. But it's true, I don't really hear like the coming out of it. It's just a whole bunch of air and
The
vibration.
tonality of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow, that's just one thing about music, how it works.
That's so
Good.
neat.
Yeah. I mean, music is interesting. It's basically just frequencies and waves that everyone has a connection with.
Wow.
Music is so powerful. Not just the lyrics, but the sounds that are coming out. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
The bass. Whenever you go to a rave, there's always a bass hugger. They have these huge speakers, and there's always like, people
yeah,
who are
those
really high, and they're just like hugging the bass.
Mm.
It's always funny to see them. Like you're standing right in front of it and vibrating all their bodies.
Yeah, it's come a long way.
Wow. Ooh. Speaking of music, they're doing a candlelight concert series in Buenos Aires right now. You go into the theater, everyone sits down, and there's like hundreds of candles around this like small quintet, like a small orchestra, very small. They got upright basses and all that. It's all mostly string, and they'll play like Hans Zimmer, Star Wars. They've done just classical music, but they dim the lights all the way down, and it's just the candles just flickering up in the front, and then they just play this music.
Real candles?
Yeah, real candles.
Wow.
And there's like hundreds of these wax candles, and I think they have a film on the floor, so they take it all up. I think it's 22,000 pesos for a ticket.
Is it at Cologne? Theater Cologne?
I forget.
Or is it moving around different theaters?
I think it's moving around. But I remember I saw the tickets for 22,000 general entry.
That's about $22.
Yeah.
Which is pretty pricey.
Yeah.
Really.
For here? Yeah.
Yeah, you can get into any club, I believe, for around $5 to $8K, $5 to $8, just to get in. Then you pay $2 or $3, sometimes up to $5, depending on the club. Play for a drink, for a gin and tonic.
Right.
It's like maybe $5.
Yeah.
Sometimes they got deals for less.
Yeah.
Get a beer for $2.50 in a bar.
Yeah.
Hey folks,
Right.
you got that's the difference. You get a beer in a bar in a glass with music for about $2.50.
Yeah. Oh, proper pint. Proper pint.
I'm not like $2 Tuesdays.
Oh,
We used to
God.
have,
Oh,
man.
Lord.
we used to live out in like, it's not like the suburbs, I guess you would say. There's not that much to do. We're kind of an hour away from LA, so there's not a lot to do. So every Tuesday, this one bar called The Vault would have this deal, and we called every drink was $2.
$2 Tuesday.
Everything was $2.
Yeah.
So this place would get packed, and
So-
people would get wasted.
Sloshed.
I shit face. Oh my god.
It was
So-
a cesspool
It was
of
a thing.
alcohol.
It was a thing. Like, are you going to $2 Tuesday today? You go, oh, $2 Tuesday? Oh,
Like,
it's Tuesday.
Yeah,
It
you
was
know
a
your
thing.
friends because $2 Tuesday. Like, what's today? Oh, it's $2
Tuesday.
Tuesday. We're getting wasted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like all the kids from the medical school, the dental school would go there and get wasted.
So
Falling
drunk.
over, there'd be fights. Of course, it's a normal bar. I lost my shoes once somehow.
Lost your shoes?
I lost my shoes.
Holy cow!
I don't know. It was wild. It was.
Damn!
Yeah. And no, I was good. This Johnny would
Oh,
always
I-
go from 4. The bar opens at 4:30 or something. 3.
3.
He would be the first.
At 3 o'clock, and I will stay to the concert.
This is Jonathan, the marathon drinker. He can drink for 12 hours.
I am a marathon drinker.
So he would go there, and his little group of people would be
Yeah,
there.
we had a crew, and there was a table in the back that was ours.
It was
We
the
would go
alcohol-
and we would all have
Alcoholics
a table,
Anonymous.
and every alcoholic from the city was in that table. And we were just a friend. We were a group of friends, and we would, oh look, Jonathan's here. Oh hey, Travis, how you doing? Like how many
Yeah,
dogs are you?
Justin.
And I'm like, oh, this is my first one, but I'm definitely I'm 6 more than tonight. Okay. And we just sit.
What was the name of the bartender?
Landon.
He would always have. He would know that you're coming at 3.
Yeah.
I remember I came with you once at 3, and your drink was already ready. And I was like, what the fuck? Oh my god.
Yep.
This is wild.
Yep. He knew me. He's like, gin tonic? I was like, no. He's like, it's already ready. I'm like, thank you.
It was an interesting group of people. They weren't all just crazy. Like there was like a washed up
Yeah, we're-
old theater actor. One was an
We're
engineer.
a bunch of we're like
Worked
a
as
bunch
a
of
semi-
artists, like quirky
Yeah.
artist types.
Art Ben, he was music. A
Yeah.
lot of musicians.
Yeah.
But then what's his name? Justin was a semiconductor.
I see he builds semiconductor
Like
factories.
that was some serious.
Yeah, he's super smart.
Yeah.
Travis, yeah, he was an
loved to
act-
smoke weed.
actor. Oh yeah,
It's
all
good-
of them
good
did.
times, good
It's
times.
California.
$2 Tuesdays.
Oh God, yeah.
I want to start something like
And that
out
same
here.
group would then have a Sunday fun day in the weekend, and everyone would go we would get there at noon and go till 10. Same thing, but we would play drinking games too. So we'd be like, whoa, it was it was a shit show.
It was a shit show. Yeah.
First and last time I ever drove drunk was at $2 Tuesday. It was a result of that.
Well, I was going to say they probably have all the law enforcement out there at the end of the month
Yeah.
seeing if their quota is up for
Yeah.
DUIs. I mean, if they got enough, they don't bother anybody, but they need a couple of more busts, to make their quota. Then
$2
anybody
Tuesday.
comes out,
Yeah, actually, on the street was Barton.
Barton. Yeah,
They would set up
police checkpoints.
police checkpoints. So
Surprise.
sometimes,
God, who could get through that?
yeah, and it's the main road out of Redlands going into Loma Linda, which is our city. So there would be times where someone would be like, they would like, they would yell through the bar like, Checkpoint Barton, and they would be like, Checkpoint Barton, and they would just go through everyone. Now everyone's now privy to the fact that it's a checkpoint, and then I'd take the long way around.
Right. Go through the cornfield.
It was Orange Groves.
Orange Groves, yeah.
Come out on
Yep.
State Road 5.
Yeah. And actually, it was more dangerous. This route
It was winding back Orange. There's no lights.
no lights, and it's like wine
And winding
switchbacks.
through them, yeah.
What fun!
Gambling your life. Let's go.
Oh my god!
And Jonathan's driving a manual Saab, an old. It was a safe car though.
Yeah, that thing's just all
Like
metal.
weaving in the lines. Like, oh my god.
Got the high beams on, but there's still not enough light because you can't
Yeah.
see. Oh my goodness.
When I was a kid, we'd go out, in a little tiny town, and we'd go out. If you had a girlfriend, that you're intimate with, let's put it that way,
Okay.
you go out and drive into the cornfields. But if it was really muddy or something, sometimes you'd get stuck.
Oh, no.
And so you'd have to walk to the local farmhouse and asked him if they could help you get out. And the farmer would go get his tractor out of the barn and come and drag you out. And they said, you shouldn't have gone down there. I know, we shouldn't have. There was one road. We called it Firestone Road. It's where the rubber hits the road. Firestone, where the rubber hits the road. That was an old ad slogan back in the time. I'm going way far back.
I get that though. I get that. Wow, I get that. That makes sense for Firestone.
Well, that's what you do. You know.
Didn't Firestone go through like a number of massive recalls on their tires?
Oh yeah,
I remember.
The Fords were flipping over, the Explorers or something.
I remember they were recalling tires like all through my young life.
Bridgestone,
Oh
Firestone.
Yes, I always remember there was always a Firestone.
The only
recall.
set of brand new tires I ever bought was on a '87 Taurus, and I bought them at Firestone. And so we drove from Indianapolis to Denver, Colorado.
Oh, nice.
Okay, and by the time we got back, the tires were totally bald with wires showing out on the inside.
Wow.
And I went back to Firestone. I said, I can't believe I got, 5,000 miles out of these tires. Oh, don't worry, we'll prorate it for you and replace the tires. Well, the tires I bought were on sale, and they prorate the regular sales price. So actually to buy another set of tires, just like the ones that failed me, was going to cost me more than the first set of tires.
Oh my God.
That was the way Firestone was doing. And this was in 1980, probably 1988,
Okay. Oh, wow.
89.
Yeah, that's about right. Because I'm an 88er, and I know all through the 90s, I remember seeing it. Another recall on Firestone tires.
Oh, they were horrible.
Firestone tires.
They were horrible.
Yeah.
And the customer service wasn't even there. I mean, you got to prorate. I had to pay for the proration insurance.
That's crazy.
And then when I come back, I had to pay more. And I said, no, we got to do this. So what I started doing was just going to car graveyards, because most of the like 80% or 90% of the accidents that happen to car involve front end collisions. So you bash in the front, maybe you damage the motor a little bit, but the rest of the car is intact. And so you can buy their used tires, but they're like 1/3 of the price, 1/4 of the price, and they're better tires.
Yeah, and then they're barely used, and they're not ruined.
Yeah, no, they're not.
Wow.
They're fine. That's what I did most of my life, was buying used tires.
So Firestone is a pretty shitty company.
Somehow they're still existing. Bridgestone, Firestone. There's the Michelin, man. That's a tire company.
Michelin, yeah.
And
Michelin's good tires. Michelin's good tires.
Pirelli's. Those are like race cars.
If you got a performance car,
Mom used to have Pirellis on.
You buy a new Bentley, you buy a new Porsche, they come with Pirellis.
Sure.
Ooh, that's Italian, right?
Oh,
Sounds
and
so
if you
nice.
can buy a tire for $150, Pirellis are like $1,000.
Yeah.
$1,200.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Isn't there a Japanese tire company that's almost as good as
Hakaku.
something like that? Because they use them on Japanese cars.
Hanguk tires.
Maybe.
Hanguk tires.
Hanguk
means.
They're also really.
Hanguk. That means Korean.
Oh.
It's Korean, I think.
What does it mean?
Hanguk. Gook means oh wow, that sounds weird. Person.
Gook? Yeah. Wait a second.
We're
back in Nog. That was a helicopter.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, folks. You can turn it back up now.
Yeah, right.
Oh wait, it's time. I'm gonna go ahead and.
Oh.
It's time.
Oh my.
Imperial. Kind of a nondescript can, but you don't buy a beer for the can.
Yeah, true.
I mean, now they got so many designs on the cans now. Budweiser has a new design.
Yeah.
I think QMS is doing a new design. I don't buy it for the can. I mean, what's the one that has the same all the time? Stella is always the same.
Stella's the same, yeah.
Miller's kind of always the same.
Miller. Speaking of Miller,
It's Miller time.
Yeah, our mom just went to Denver the other day, and she was telling us she saw all the breweries, and we're like, oh God,
I miss
Coors.
That's
Oh God, I grew up on Coors.
Oh, we were like,
Coors.
really? You saw the brewery? She was like, yeah, this is where Coors come from. I was like, oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's saying there's a bunch of breweries there too, like craft breweries, micro
Oh yeah.
breweries.
Well, they're everywhere. Even Richmond, Virginia has craft breweries all over it.
That's like the thing
In
now.
one little section of the
But there's
town.
none here. Where are my craft breweries out here in Argentina? We need to start one.
I mean, Rabieta's a craft brewery. They brew their own beers.
Kind of small.
But they're owned by a casino, so they got...
I don't say that's... I want like my mom and pop, my whatever, those kind of guys, hipster kind of people who have their own little breweries.
Somebody was saying they don't like craft beers.
We used to visit breweries.
Yeah, I don't like craft beers.
It was you. It was like somebody...
I just like lagers.
What about a craft lager?
Simple guy. I don't want blueberries. I don't want strawberries. I don't want coconut. I don't want walnuts.
Oranges and mint.
No oranges
and mate.
Mata.
What's this fucking gay beer I have?
Yeah, really, it's
fucking poofs.
And then we put cloves in the beer sometimes.
This is good.
I can't stand
this
cloves.
This is delicious.
Yeah. Remember the Christmas ornaments that people take in orange?
They
stick all the little cloves of cloves. What are they called?
Little cloves, yeah.
Cloves. God, I hated that smell.
Oh wow!
Don't put it in my beer, please.
Oh man, we're getting into winter season. I'm gonna start making eggnogs, and one of the main flavorers of eggnog is cloves, nutmeg and cloves.
Yeah,
a whole lot of brandy and a whole lot of whiskey.
A whole lot of whiskey.
And the alcohol is so strong that you keep it just stick it in the fridge, and those eggs do not rot. They are preserved in alcohol, and it's so good.
Fattening.
Wow.
And really fattening, yeah. I remember I
used to make some of that good
did.
stuff.
Oh, yeah, but the last batch I made it in October, and we ate it in December, and I just let it sit, and then flavorize, flavorize?
Develop,
for 3-4 months. And it
Yeah.
was delicious. Also, it's cream, like milk cream, also did not rot, because you put so much alcohol in there. I used brandy, whiskey, and SoCo,
baby. Let's get to that time, that winter, fall time.
Also, what is Southern Comfort?
Is it brandy? It's like a brandy, no?
What is SoCo? Is it whiskey? Is it brandy? Is some sort of brown liquor?
It's called Southern Comfort.
We
used to call it SoCo.
It's a Southern Comfort is a malt. It's a sweet whiskey.
Oh, it's a whiskey.
Whiskey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it whiskey or bourbon?
I don't know.
I don't like it myself. It's so sweet.
Oh.
Southern Comfort and Jack Daniels is another one that's like that.
Oh.
Jack Daniels the whiskey.
Black Jack. That's the
Jack.
best. You can get them in a red label, just like Dewar's Scotch. You get Jack Daniels in a red label, or you can get it in a black label. It's supposed to be a lot better. But I just can't stand those sweet stuff.
Yeah,
the dark liquors.
Okay. So
I don't know the difference between bourbon, brandy, Scotch, and whiskey. There's so many.
They're all brown barrel whiskey. They're all brown barrel.
I know the
liquors.
difference.
What is the difference between? Tell us. Yeah.
Oh God, it's hard to explain.
So bourbon
Scotch is what you want to drink. Okay, you can learn. It's an acquired taste. At first, you're not going to like it, but the more you get into it, if you get a good Chevis is Chevis is not. Chevis is a whiskey. A good Scotch J&B Scotch is good.
I've seen that.
And there's another one. God, I can't remember. But Scotch has got the best taste. Whiskey is a little more tart and a little more bitey. Okay, and whiskey can be a little bit sweet too.
So
brandy is totally sweet.
Okay.
Brandy is sweet.
Yes.
Oh.
Very bourbon. What's bourbon? That's like the turkey or something. Right?
It's a bourbon whiskey.
Yeah.
Okay,
bourbon is a whiskey.
I think it has something to do with the wooden barrels that they age it in. You always see, this whiskey is aged 7 years.
Yeah.
If they're aged in an oak barrel, or if they're aged in another type of a barrel that they have.
So it's the barrel that makes it a bourbon.
Yes.
Bourbon.
So
Bourbon. That's wild turkey.
So they're all basically whiskeys, except
Wild Turkey. That's the other sweet whiskey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Southern Comfort Wild Turkey.
Maker's Mark. That's
Maker's
one.
Mark.
Maker's Mark is a single malt.
Oh.
It's a single malt whiskey.
And then what's that mean?
Okay, so
What does that mean?
Oh my God.
all right, single malts are the best. There's Glenlivet, which is really expensive,
yes,
okay.
and then there's another one.
That's right.
That's another Livet. It's not Glenlivet, but there's something above it. It's like Super Livet, I don't know.
Okay.
But Maker's Mark is the most inexpensive single malt you can find, and it's got a very pure taste to it. It's really good. Almost all the bourbons and whiskeys are blends. They take different grains and ferment them and put them together, and the blend they come up with defines their brand.
So it's a blend of grains that makes the blend, not like they're mixing different whiskeys together from different.
Yeah, they're mixing different whiskeys together.
Oh, okay.
They're making the whiskey with a certain grain, and then they put it together.
Oh.
So a single malt is only from one grain.
One grain.
It's more pure.
That's
okay.
right.
Okay.
We're gonna have to do this one day. We're gonna have to get a bunch of whiskeys and
Oh, God.
try the whiskeys. We'll let you know how they taste.
This brings me back. When I was just after I graduated, there was this guy. He was in a frat, but he was like, he always tried to make me join the fraternity. He was like, I want you to be my little. I'm gonna teach you everything about whiskeys. He had a lot of money. He was a rich guy. So one day I was like, you know what? I'm not joining the frat, but I can still be your friend. So he's like, okay, I have this whiskey bar. He took me there one day. And it's in Georgetown. There's this old whiskey bar, and they have every whiskey in like America.
I think I've been there one time.
It's really nice, and they have a. You can sign
on
up.
Connecticut. Or what's right down the road? There's a road that goes south. Connecticut kind of takes off northwest.
It's like just on the main street in Georgetown, across the river. And then you can eventually get down and go up. There's Georgetown University, and then you'll go up into Northwest and Embassy Road.
I think I've been there.
You might possibly.
Yeah.
And they have a thing where you can sign up for the whiskey list, or they call it the whiskey list. And they take your name down, they take a picture of your ID, and they put you up on the wall, on a small wall, or in the list. And you have to, if you drink every single whiskey that they sell there, then you've tried every whiskey in America. And then you get your picture taken, and then you get on the wall.
I kind of remember that. I know I've been there.
And you must have, because it's that. If you know it, that's the one. That's the one. Every whiskey in America.
So what was the most expensive whiskey you drank?
A 22-year Thomas Jefferson, $50.
$50 for a little glass, like a little finger.
A little shot, yeah. That's the most expensive I got.
$50 for a shot?
Just
like a finger.
Just one shot?
Yeah.
2 fingers? 1 finger?
Two fingers.
2 or 3 fingers.
Yeah, 2 fingers. That's
No ice, nothing.
Whoa!
Yeah, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? $50 fucking dollars.
What again? It was Thomas.
A Thomas Jefferson 22
years, yeah. That's Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah, it was called the Thomas Jefferson. I was like, wow, wait. It was. I mean, I hadn't acquired the taste yet, so I was like, I mean, it was good. It was smooth. I just and my friend was just like, oh yeah. he was ordering off the walls. Yeah, he was used to it. This was my first time trying some. I had a Maker's Mark. I tried those.
It's like a Johnny Walker.
Yeah,
it's like he said Glenlivet, Jameson, McKellen. Is McKellen one? An old McKellen, something like that. Yeah,
that might be a Scotch. But anyway, it's something that I wish I could do well. We should do it.
Well, I remember. You have Glenlivet, which is a single malt, I believe. It's a single malt Scotch too. Then the one above it is called Glenfiddich.
That's it.
Glenfiddich.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
the really good stuff. You can buy a bottle of that, and you're up in $50-$60 or more.
For the bottle.
Yeah.
Right.
For the whole bottle.
I paid $50 for a fucking 2 fingers. Oh, I feel like
well, it's a Thomas Jefferson. I don't know who makes that.
I don't know. I actually have to look it up. The guy wanted me to be on the list, and I had like 3 or 4 from the list. Thomas Jefferson being one of the highest ones that I could afford. So I was like, I'm on a college budget, bro. And I was like, and they're like $50. Like what? Oh hell no! I didn't even know it was going to cost that much. I was thinking maybe $15-$16.
God, what an incredible marketing campain!
Yeah,
that's
the
good.
bar owner to do that,
and and it's really nice,
really intelligent.
Yeah, but they every single bottle that you could ever imagine, and they're all brown liquors. You've definitely been there. I'm pretty sure you.
Yeah,
the
I
one
know
you're
I
thinking
have.
of is
I can see it in my mind.
Yeah.
I can see walking in a real dark place, long
dark,
bar. It's not any more than maybe 20 feet wide.
Yeah, tiny.
Maybe.
That's it. That's the
with
one.
all those bottles.
Whoa, small world.
Wow, we both cheers. We both been to the same place.
There we are.
That's so cool. All right. Wow.
I guess it's settled. We're gonna open a whiskey bar now.
Oh yeah, right. I think we have to.
Or a tequila bar. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's something about like dark liquor that like everyone who's high class, or if you always see it in the movies or they always have that 2 fingers of some dark liquor.
Yeah.
Right.
And they drink and they make the deal.
Why? Why is
It's never vodka. It's never like a martini. It's always like they always have this dark liquor.
Yeah, and usually it's Scotch. Like
so it's like a Scotch. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Scotch is way popular. That's more than a lot of stuff. Now there's Crown Royal.
Crown Royal.
Chivas. Chivas is very good too, and I think they're whiskeys. I'm not sure. They may be Scotch whiskeys. I don't know. But they're very expensive too.
What is Hennessy? Oh, Hennessy is cognac.
Hennessy is a
I
cognac.
don't even know what that is.
Yeah. Right.
Cognac is barrel wine whiskey, right? It's like wine.
Oh, they use the wine barrel
Wine
and then
barrels.
put the whiskey in it?
I think so.
Oh, maybe that's it.
If that-
Cognac.
yeah.
Cognac.
Because is it cognac a type of...
I don't know. I just know the black people love it.
I know, yeah.
Oh!
Actually, it's
Oh, Jesus!
it's Russian. VSOP.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a cognac. VSOP. That's the one. I have no idea what it stands for, but it's a very Russian drink.
Oh, cognac.
And I could never develop the taste for cognac.
I hate cognac. It's disgusting.
I don't know.
But you're right. A lot of people, really, a lot of blacks.
Yeah.
Love cognac.
They love cognac. Give me some of that Henny.
Yeah.
We're going to drink Hennessy.
I don't know why.
There's something called an Incredible Hulk. It's like they put Hennessy and what's that? Alizé?
Alizé is a...
And so Alizé is like this blue fruity drink.
It's fruity cognac.
You drop the Hennessy and it turns green, and then you drink it.
I went through an Alizé phase. I was drinking Alizé all the time.
He was living up there with the blacks.
I was like, mm-hmm.
Let me get a Philly going on.
Just drinking my blue drinks.
I asked you yesterday, what's a Philly?
Oh,
He didn't
God.
explain to me what a Philly was.
Yeah, Philly blunt.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I was listening to rap music. I was like, what's a Philly? He's like,
Yeah,
it's a
it's a cigarillo. Those long. It's a cigarette wrapped in cigar tobacco.
Yeah.
And they'll buy them in 3-packs. People buy
Those people.
the people that smoke.
We know who
weed.
you're talking about.
So they'll buy the Phillies, and they're called they're Philly somethings cigarillos. There's 3 in a pack. You open it up, and then they'll take their finger, they rip it all the way up, and dump the tobacco and fill it with weed, and then lick it and stick it back together, and it sticks, and then smoke a blunt.
Sounds a blunt.
Smoke a blunt.
In public.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it looks like a silhouette. Well, but it's just that's
It has a smell of like
a tobacco, even though it's not.
We used to get Swisher Sweets and do that.
Swisher Sweets, same, yeah.
Strawberry Swisher Sweets.
Swishers are Phillies.
Along that line of public drugginess, okay, I had a friend in Richmond, okay, and he was able to he had access to a Learjet, and I don't know if it was somebody in his company or somebody he knew in the company, and so they would fly from Richmond to Las Vegas, and he'd go to the casinos gambling. And you know those inhalers that they have that you go up your nose if you have asthma or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
And you go, cheesh, cheesh. No, it didn't go in your mouth. It goes up your nose. It just squirts some powder in your nose.
Oh, wow, okay.
He would fill that up with cocaine.
Oh my God!
And he's sitting at the gaming table and doing this shit, up his nose. And actually, the dealer one time, she said to him, he says, I just have a cold, and this helps keep my bronchioles clear. And she said, that's one hell of a cold you got there. But that's what he did. He would go, God, I can't remember that guy's name.
Holy moly!
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's
Like the way people are geniuses.
That's
we gotta get
clever.
the drugs in.
Wow.
Get a little nasacort thing and just
A nasal cord.
a
Yeah.
little nasacort. That's probably what it was. Yeah.
Just chill it up and go that way.
Jesus! Like when humans want to get debauched, they find some weirdly ingenious ways of doing it. Like, why can't we take our that ingeniousness and put it towards world peace?
Oh, that's like my
You know?
my friend in high school. He would take a teaspoon of whiskey and snort it up his nose.
Oh,
my God!
Yeah, that's pretty ingenious. I think he's brain dead now.
Imagine.
Oh, it feels so good. I tried it one time and I went like, oh, never again.
Yeah, that sounds like a horrible.
But he would do it. He loved it. God, I remember his name. I probably shouldn't say his name. I'll probably get sued.
Oh, right. Yeah, reliable or something.
I don't know. That was a crazy time. We would also go out in Kansas. Marijuana grows wild. Okay, along the riverbanks. It's really poor quality, but we would pick it and bring it back, and you could boil it on the stove in alcohol, and rubbing alcohol,
Man,
and
like
it would
tincture.
cook down, and it would make it more potent.
Yeah.
So we'd all be. I have this scene in my head of one night. We're sitting in there, and the air is just full of rubbing alcohol. That's got it, and we're numb to begin with, and then we're snorting whiskey up our noses. It was like, that's probably one of the most stupid nights of my life.
Oh my goodness.
But it's true. It's what we do.
Wow, I literally, I have my hand over my mouth gasping. I'm like, what is going?
What have you done?
After a while, we looked at each other like, wow, something's really numbing my entire respiratory system. Let's go outside. And going outside didn't help. It took a day or so for it to wear off.
Jesus.
No.
The things we do, chasing that high.
Oh my god.
Oh, God. Chasing that high.
Chasing that high.
It's got to be...
Wow.
Everyone wants to get high.
But now alcohol is my only vice. I don't do anything else.
Okay,
it's just the way I like it. I decided a few years back that I don't like this shit. I'm not going to do it anymore.
Yeah, just keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
And this
Alcohol's
it's
bad
easily taken care of. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we all know what happens on alcohol. It's very. You get too drunk, you fall over, you sleep, and it's done. You take a piss.
You gotta pee.
You take a piss.
You rent your beer.
Yeah, you're done.
I mean, but I think we know the same with like if you're doing harder to like cocaine or something, but with like LSD, you don't really know what's gonna happen sometimes.
Tell me about that.
I guess we could tell. I think we took 2 tabs each of like this pharmaceutical grade LSD that I had gotten my hands on.
Maybe we're not saying
this is allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
We're not promoting this either.
No, this may or may not have ever happened.
And we were out at Joshua Tree, and we take the we allegedly take these. We start walking off, looking at nature, thinking, oh, when is it gonna hit? Oh, it's not hitting. It's not working. And all of a sudden,
we were hiking. We had climbed up a rock ledge.
Yeah, we had climbed this little.
Because we were just out Joshua Tree is a big, it's like a desert national park.
Yeah.
And so we climbed up these rocks. And these rocks they're like.
They start sparkling.
Like
Yeah.
They're moving.
Yeah, they're just glowing and
we're like, it's so beautiful. So we're like on the top of this freaking rock, like, oh my god, you see it?
Yeah,
it's so gorgeous. Oh my god,
it looks like how when you get when chicken skin.
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps. The rock was like Goosebumps. It was already like that, so it was already very. It had lots of texture. So when it started moving and sparkling, the texture went out. It was like
so
insane.
beautiful.
It was insane.
And then we just couldn't. We were on the top of this rock and we had to get off of the rock. And so we're like sliding around.
That happened to a friend of mine in Colorado. They're climbing up rocks.
So we just slipped off of this
We're like
rock.
sliding down there.
It's all moving. I'm gonna
If anyone saw us, they were like, these guys are high off of their fucking asses.
Well, I'm surprised.
could just
I never
walk
would have
down
thought
that.
that of you guys.
But it was so beautiful. It was amazing. And then we saw like owls, and it was.
Oh yeah, this owl family. Whoosh.
It's all fun and games, so someone loses an eye.
Right. Yeah. But of course, this is all alleged, so
Oh yeah. Well, the craziest thing.
Is it a friend in Colorado?
Maybe not me, but somebody saw this.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sitting in a living room in an apartment, and looking at the ceiling. A little part of the ceiling, maybe about a square meter, would turn a color and drop down.
Oh god.
And then it disappeared. And then another color would drop down. And so the ceiling was just this undulating colors coming down. And it was like, well, okay. I guess that was some good shit.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't worry. Time, take care of it. If you give it an hour, you'll be okay, Tom. Or whoever that was.
Sure, yeah. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
We don't know who these people are.
Those are fun things.
I remember the wind blew and I saw the colors of the wind. I was like thinking Pocahontas, like the colors of the wind. Oh. I was like, oh, that's where that song came from. Somebody was maybe or maybe not doing
We used to do some crazy stuff.
and then I lit an incense. Well, allegedly lit an incense in the RV because we were breaking it in. And we put on some music, and the incense was dancing to the music.
Oh, yeah. So we're just sitting there watching
staring at the incense. I'm like, oh my god!
Oh my god, it's dancing!
It's like dancing with the beat. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, right. Like watching television and listening to the LP.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Everything
Do we have
was
prediction time? Is it prediction time? Is that all right?
I have a.
Go for it. Go.
I have a prediction. This will probably be our most popular podcast because it's just total boozy, druggy shit.
Man.
You know,
We didn't talk
that's
about
all
a
we
single
did.
topic.
Tornadoes, booze,
$2
drugs.
Tuesdays. Yeah,
We didn't talk about anything.
drugs, sex, and alcohol.
My God, there's nothing.
Wow. Oh my god.
So, folks, be sure and like us out there.
Yeah,
give
like
us a
and subscribe. Please. We appreciate it.
I think that's it.
We need it.
Please. Yeah. Oh, okay, maybe we just close off.
Yeah, I think it's close on that. I
All
think
right. Well, with that, what's a good word?
that
That
drugged
sort of-
out high.
Yeah, that drug ending.
Our boozy, druggy episode.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
We can't even stop with y'all now. We're going on. We can't even.
Fuck me.
We're having too much fun.
We can't stop this.
You don't come in and arrest us.
Right.
There's no material evidence.
Yes,
It's all
exactly.
hearsay.
This is all alleged. And allegedly, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for allegedly listening to us today. If you liked this episode, and especially if you didn't, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button in your favorite podcasting app. Until next week, this has been a useless episode of...
Absolutely useless. Hey, file this one in the '86. You
I can't wait to
know.
close this one.
Allegedly useless.
Allegedly useless.
Allegedly. Viewer discretion advised.
Yeah. Are we gonna make it? Are we gonna make this?
Are we gonna make it to the end?
Ready?
I don't know. Come on.
Useless episode of
The Velvet Hammer. Hey, have a great week and try harder than we do. I can't believe that. My God. Where the hell did we go? Woo.
Another useless episode.
Oh, we got this. I bought a bottle of Italian gin. It's gin and tonics.
Oh.
Oh, it's time. Okay.
$2
Okay.
Tuesday time.